to a degree that I can foresee the future. We can just go back to our first interview from the beginning of the war and what I told you, and what I have been telling you, and what I tell you now. The Iranian regime, that includes Ayatollah and the Iranian guard, they are all targets. The next level is going to be massive assassinations in Tehran. Everybody who helped the attacks on October 7th, everybody who orchestrated the attacks against the Jewish people, everybody who helped sacrifice Arab and Jewish children, Persian children, Ayatollah, since 1979 until now, he enjoyed a free ride. But now, this is not going to continue for eternity. He's wanted, and he is going to be punished. The Iranian nuclear program is going to be destroyed. And anyone who gets in the way, it doesn't matter where they are, even if they are politicians in the West, they are going to fall. Because we cannot afford letting any Islamic entity, and I said this previously, and I mean what I say, and you need to take this very seriously. A person who has been launching ballistic missiles on a democracy while millions of children had to go to shelter again and again and again. Then he funded his proxies to destabilize an entire region. This type of lunatics cannot obtain mass destruction weapon. It's as simple as that. It's common sense. You don't need to be part of the Israeli intelligence to realize that Ayatollah with a mass destruction weapon is bad news. So Cenk and many of those losers want us to stop and wait for help to come from the outside, just like the Palestinians, by the means of manipulation and deception. And when things don't go their way, they get very angry. And we tell them, you will be defeated. Cenk, you are going to be defeated. You are already defeated.
Okay, Cenk, final word to you. Hold on, did you hear what he just said? He threatened politicians in the West that if they don't agree with Israel's war against Iran, that they're going to fall. And remember, he's an Israeli agent. Are you saying Israel will murder politicians in the West or get rid of them politically through bribery or whatever else? What do you mean the politicians in the West will fall if they don't agree to back Israel's war against Iran?
Yeah, we will not vote for them anymore.
Oh, no, well, you don't vote for them now. You're not in our country. What do you mean the politicians will fall?
We live in democracy, and we have the right to bring them up and to bring them down. Those who agree with Ayatollah, we don't want them in office. And all the sympathizers with terrorists like yourself, we don't want them even to be in our country.
Who is we, and how are you bringing down politicians in the West if they dare to defy Israel? Tell me how you're bringing them down.
I already answered you that.
Are you going to murder them, or are you going to bribe them? Are you going to bribe someone else? Who are you going to do? Okay, so let me answer it because he's not. Look, the best case scenario, we've seen the worst case scenario. Buy an Israeli product, see how it turns out for you, okay? Now, the best case scenario for what he's saying there is, oh, no, AIPAC's going to come in and say, hey, if you work for Israel, we'll give you a lot of money, and now J Street too. If you don't work for Israel, we'll give that money to your political opponent, and we'll eliminate you politically. And that is where we are here in America. And Piers, you can't deny it. I mean, right now, almost all of our politicians, their top donor is AIPAC. And so, in a sense, the United States has occupied territory. And now Mossad or whoever he is saying, hey, well, you better watch out. If you defy Israel at all, and you don't pay for the war we're starting with Iran, there could be consequences for you if you're a politician in the West. And that is super scary. And this is the bullies that they are. They have tremendous power while pretending to be powerless. And I want to be super clear here, guys. I'm talking about the government of Israel. We're not, and the right wing, and they literally have terrorists in their cabinet. convicted in Israel of supporting terrorism. This out-of-control right-wing extremist government is now saying that if you defy us in any way, there's going to be consequences for you throughout the world, including the lethal consequences they've shown in the Middle East. They've now attacked 5 of their neighbors, and he just promised that they're going to do a series of assassinations all across Iran. That's called starting a war, and guess who's going to pay for it? They're going to make us, the American taxpayer, pay for the war of Israel, and if any of our politicians defy them, you just heard an Israeli agent saying that they will fall.
Well, I think he made it clear he meant politically fall in the sense that
He meant what?
People would vote.
He meant what?
That people would vote against
Really?
it if they took
That's
that
not what the
position.
polling shows.
Okay.
That's
well,
not what the polling shows at all. So it has nothing to do with voting. That was a threat.
I've got to leave it there. But
And he's threatening me too. Let's be clear about that.
he's not threatening
Anyone who is against Israel, thugs like this, fascist thugs like this, threaten their very lives. They threaten their careers. They threaten to arrest them.
Right.
They threaten to fire them. It is cancel culture on a global scale.
Okay. I've got to leave it there. A fascinating debate. Thank you both very much. I appreciate it.